Okay, tribe, this is a real important one. Have you ever noticed a conversation between two women and every other word is like this, like that? She was all like, and then I was like, and then like, you know, like, do you know what I mean? So, not a woman talk like this, of course, but I hear this type of conversation a lot. I live near a lake and there's a running path around the lake. So as I'm walking past, or women are jogging by me, and this is the conversation. This is the language that's being used, like this, like that. And then when they want to really make a point, or come towards the end of what they're trying to say, they will say literally. She was literally like not even there, or she literally just stood up and walked out and was like, so like, and then literally. And I've tried to follow these conversations, and maybe you've encountered the same thing. And I can't follow it. I can't make it to the end. I'm not really sure what they're talking about. Like is a word that has no meaning. It doesn't really mean anything. And literally is often used out of context. I don't know what that means in that context. And I'm walking by restaurants and I go, here comes the like. And before I could even say that to myself, the woman is saying to the other woman, like this, like that. I was like, so maybe men do the same thing and I'm not noticing, but I do notice this in a lot of female conversations. This used to be the realm of teenage girls. It's not like that any longer. Girls in college talk like that, 30, 40-year-old women, women who are parents. And why do women who are parents talk like this, like that? Usually they're single moms, and instead of being a parent to their daughters, they're their best friend. So they adopt that kind of language, and it's really kind of sad because these are adult women. Sometimes I've been on a date with someone who's an executive, a smart woman, and she started with the likes, and I couldn't believe it. So what's really going on here, and why am I bringing this up? Because it's very important. It's a vehicle to learn about female nature. And this is what this conversation style illustrates. It illustrates perfectly female nature and the difference between men and women. This is one of the most important things you're going to learn from me and on this channel is female nature, is really understanding female nature. Because if you understand something, it can no longer control you. Let me repeat that. If you understand something, it will no longer control you. So many men fail at relationships, are put through the emotional ringer, get divorced, get left in the cold because they don't understand this aspect of female nature. And it's the main thing you need to understand. Oh, men are more logical, women are more emotional. No, it's much, much deeper than that. It's much, much stronger than that. It's not a casual, hey, they're just a little more emotional. No. This is huge. And you need to pay attention to this. This is what you need to understand. Once you start filtering your relationships and your interaction with women through this knowledge and understanding how important the emotional context of things is, you're going to find a lot more success. So you're listening to this conversation. I was like this, and then we went like to the store, and she walked in, and she was all like, and then I'm like literally just stood up and walked right out. So you're thinking, what does that mean? What's going on here? But the two women, they seem like they understand each other perfectly. They're not confused. They're nodding their head and they're riveted. Oh yeah, totally. I understand completely. What's happening there? What is really going on? They are triggering emotions in each other. That's what's going on. It may not make sense to them logically, the conversation. I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't make sense to a lot of us. It doesn't need to make sense. They're feeling each other's emotions. The person telling the story is triggering memories and thoughts that the other woman is having, and it triggers those emotions inside her, and she loves that. Women like to get together and talk about and have these like conversations and literally make their point at the end. It's the emotional content they get from it. They don't need that logical understanding of what the other person is trying to convey. They like those emotional triggers that they're getting. And that's the joy to them. The pain, the suffering, the jealousy, the regret, the love, all the different emotions, they're being triggered in this very informal, not really making a lot of sense with the word choices, very minimal word choices, but they're actually riveted by what they're hearing. They connect. How many guys out there, how many of you have a girlfriend who has a friend and they just, the girlfriend has this friend and they just talk on the phone and you're just like, what the heck? Or you go out to dinner with them and you're listening to them and you're like, what? You don't know what's going on. That's what's going on. She's feeding off of that emotion that she's getting from that other girl. Now, as a guy and you're having relationships and you're having interactions with women, you need to remember this. You need to know how important this is. Now, some women might not like this metaphor, and it's an exaggeration, maybe, but I'm using it for the men in the tribe so they can really grasp what a woman's needs are. Think of it like this. Emotion is the blood. The woman is the vampire. That's how important. That's how important emotions are to a woman. She needs it to live. It's the life. Any vampire story, they hunger and they thirst for the blood. Emotion is the blood for the female, and she is the vampire. That's the relationship. That's how important the emotion is. It's like blood to a vampire. It's like an ice cream cake to a sugar addict. It's like a fix to a drug addict. It's a core. It's the core of their being. It's a string that runs through the core of their being, is the emotional content of things. So if you're getting dumped, if you're confused in a relationship, if you're getting a lot of testing, here's the root cause of it. What emotion are you providing? That's really what it comes down to. You need to start thinking of women as this emotional vampire, and they need that blood. That blood is the emotion. You need to view what's happening through that. She is reacting to the emotion of things. You are reacting to the logic, and when something makes sense, and when it doesn't, you'd like to explain it. No. These are all, you need to put that logical brain away when dealing with women. You need to know they primarily want emotion. So what's a good example of this? The guy who treats women not so great. The jerk, right? Why is Sally in love with that jerk? He gives her the emotion. He gives her the blood that the vampire in her needs. He's taking her up and down. He's having a great time with her and blowing her the frick off. He's giving her this nice roller coaster of emotions. She's really happy. She's ecstatic. He's not saying a lot about himself, so she's got to fill in the blanks. And she's excited and wondering and pondering. She's going through all these emotions. She's jealous. She might be with another woman. He's a big jerk. That's another emotion. I can't stand him. And then when you're with him, he's nice. He's like, hey, he said I had nice hair. The emotion. He's constantly giving her emotion and then pulling back, and then she gets all those other emotions. if you're constantly doing what she says, if you're all agreeable, if you're just a very nice guy, you are going to get your ass dumped because you're just giving her that one flavor. It's just vanilla emotion. She wants some excitement. It's not enough emotion. She's bored of that emotion. If you can give her all these different emotions that the jerk supposedly gives her, the guy who's blowing her off, the guy who's hot and cold, you're going to have a lot more success. If you understand female nature and this desire for emotional content, you can't go wrong. You really can't. You're going to double your success. You're going to give the woman what she wants. She wants that emotional content. She doesn't want a nice guy. She doesn't want a nice guy. She's going to say, I want a guy who's nice and treats me nice and is a nice guy. No, 100% no. She doesn't want that. If you understand something, it can no longer control you. Think of your past relationships. Think of the relationships that failed. Why did they fail? I bet if you go back and look at them now, you'll see you were not giving her the emotional content that she craves. You were not giving the vampire the blood. You were giving her one thing and not enough. And they get bored of that one flavor. They need that array of emotions. They need that roller coaster. And you have to provide that. You can't just sit back. Things are going great. Why change anything? That is a trap. That is man thinking. That's logic. I've fallen into that and failed miserably. I know all the tribe out there have done that and failed miserably. And the women who are watching this and listening to this, they know. That's extremely boring to them. And they feel bad that they don't like the nice guy, but they just don't. It doesn't satisfy their vampiric urges. And I apologize for the metaphor. It's extreme, but I want everyone to understand how important the emotional content is for a woman. And how if you pay attention to that as a man, instead of making sense and instead of explaining things, instead of wanting the same thing because that worked great and that was really nice, you provide this array of emotions. You provide this blood, this sugar for the sugar addict. It's a huge urge inside them to have this emotional content. So go down the street, walk down the street, notice women talking to each other. Within 5 seconds, they're going to say like this, like that, and you try to follow their conversation. See, I fade out. I cannot make it to the end. I really can't. I don't know what like means. My man brain is trying to what is she trying to say? And then the literally will come at the end. There'll be a big pause and a big props, and then literally she did this. Or literally I was like. So follow those conversations. Understand. This is a perfect example of that need for emotional content. Now look, tons of women are super intelligent, have a tremendous command of the English language, and not all of them talk like this. But they do need the emotional content just the same. They crave it just the same. They want to watch a movie and cry. They want to read a book and get all emotional about it. They want that. And they want that in a relationship too. If you give that to them, you will have more success. So this concept of a roller coaster of emotion is super, super important. So I'm going to be making more videos on that. If you want to learn more about that, I would watch this video right here. Okay, tribe. If you got something from this, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell notifications. If you want any personal coaching, reach out to me through my YouTube page, and we'll see you in the next video.